Today on Midwest Ghost Hunters Dark Matter podcast, we talk about the types of evidence you gather at a paranormal investigation. Welcome to Midwest Ghost Hunters Dark Matter podcast. I'm John, Dustin, Chris, Melissa, all here today for the podcast from Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri.
We were sitting here kind of talking about what we were going to discuss on the podcast today, and as it always does, led into a different kind of discussion about, different evidence we've collected over the years. And we talked about, last week we talked about the picture that was taken by another group inside Pythian Castle. It was really good. I think it was really good. I think there's something to that. Even though, I would love to see the picture that was taken right before and after that. We don't have that. What we do have is the picture of a dark figure that looks, in previous podcasts we've talked about the cloaked figure that has been photographed. It looks like that, except huge. So, we were kind of talking about, photographic evidence and how hard it is to get really good video evidence. Even like on the TV shows, like with Ghost Hunters or whatever, they've got 1 million cameras and they rarely get a really good video capture. We've got a few over the years, but it's just a hard thing to get, especially, the bigger the area gets, the more real estate you have to cover with cameras, the harder it is. So I don't know. Oh, well, yeah, we actually did get a good video evidence here, didn't we? When we were down in the tunnel, we caught an actual figure down there.
Yeah, we did.
Forgot about that. But it's hard to get. So really what we were kind of talking about, before we started today, and what we thought we'd talk about today is the kinds of evidence that you get on an investigation, and the kind that we tend to get, it tends to be, audio.
What do you think our best video evidence is that we've ever got? Would you say it's the tunnel, or the one I would say is the best? We were at the house over on
Buddha?
Battle. Yes,
The
at
Buddha,
that one. And the claims in that house had been shadow figures. It had been singing, and it had been, or it was whistling and snapping or something like that. And I set up the video camera. And you can see Chris goes into the room at the end of the hall and says, hey, come in here and check this out. I go down and I go into the room at the end of the hall. So no one is in the room at this point in time. And you see a massive shadow figure cross right directly in front of the camera. And then you hear the singing, the whistling, whatever it was. Yeah. That we were supposed to hear. I think that's our best video evidence.
That's a good one. We got a good one at the not the Willard house we talk about a lot, but another house in Willard of a shadow figure coming down the hallway and then moving across the ceiling.
Yes,
that one was good. The
video, tunnel here.
The video we got in the tunnel here was probably the best.
It was the most dramatic
because it looked like a human form.
Yes.
As far when you think of a shadow figure, and I know a lot of people think of a human shape, and that's really not what we usually get. But in this case, we did. We caught, on video a human figure stepping out of the nothing. And then stepping, back. So that one, probably because it looked like a human, is probably the best one. But we've got a few videos, but if you look at how many investigations we've done over the years, we don't have a good video from every one.
No,
because it's a crapshoot. It's you're going fishing. Where are we gonna put this to catch something? And you never put it in the right spot.
No,
we just happened to catch that figure in the tunnel on a cell phone video.
Yes,
I mean we didn't have a camera pointed down there. The ones you were talking about, we did. The one at the Willard, the house in Willard,
right, with
the shadow figure. That was caught on our camera. The other one that you were talking about, that was caught on a camera. But usually you see this shit, and there's no camera pointed that direction ever. But we did happen to catch the one in the tunnel. But a lot of times our evidence tends to be audio EVPs, which is probably true for a lot of. I don't know. I have no idea what a lot of groups get. I know a lot of groups get orbs, and they count that. We don't count those.
Melissa, you've seen a lot of them here at the castle over the years and been around a lot. What do you think that the number one evidence is that most groups would gather?
I mean, a lot of people do catch orbs, and just, whether they're a professional group or not, a lot of people claim the orbs. I mean, if people have caught a lot of audio here, we don't ever hear about it.
And it's hard whenever you're in a group setting to catch audio.
It would be almost impossible.
Because you can't get everybody to...
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Is really what you need them to do. They just won't.
I've seen some odd photos come through. I've even shared those with you guys. But then some of the photos, I'm like, it's very obviously a person walking through the room. Or you can see their tennis shoe at the bottom of the frame,
Or it's Tamara, plug it in, or whatever.
That has been posted 3 more times since I yelled at that lady.
That's obviously Tamara. Now, a lot of times you look at a picture and you think, that could be a person. You look at this picture and think, what's Tamara doing down there? It's Tamara. It's the owner of the castle. Definitely, 100%, no question about it. You can see the curls in her hair.
I don't remember the Facebook page, but there's a certain guest who has been here that continually posts this
next
image.
Year, on Halloween 2023,
she's going to post it again.
Look at this picture. We got it.
Yeah. She says she caught an image of a little boy, and it's the owner turning off a Halloween decoration. Yeah. There's a talking skeleton, and she goes to turn it off, and this woman continually posts it. And me and several guides have all commented, that is the owner of the castle.
Does she ever reply?
No.
She just
keeps reposting the fucking picture again.
I think what it is that people are hell-bent on wanting to catch ghosts, and so
I understand
they'll make it up.
But once it's been 100% debunked,
I mean, come on.
When you look at the picture and say the name of the person that's in the picture, it's probably should set that one aside.
Well, there are some people that are just going to believe what they want to believe.
Well, I know.
Regardless of...
So, but as far as groups that have come in that have done investigations, not so much the tours, but like if someone's doing investigations that you've seen here or investigations you've seen at other places, do you think that people generally gather audio? Do they get a video? When you went to Waverly Hills, what'd you gals use to gather evidence?
We just brought recorders with us.
Yeah.
So, but audio recorders, right?
Audio recorders. That's all we brought. And
if you go to Waverly, you need to run audio because it's nuts.
Yeah. And we did catch some odd sounds and some whispering, but you're also, if you go on the public tours, the overnight tours, you're there with like 60 people. And mind you, it's a massively big building and everybody scatters, so you're not necessarily there with 60 people, but it's all open. There's no windows, so you can hear everything.
See, I've always wondered if the reason why that we do so much more audio than everything else is that's the background that Chris and I had, was to get the audio recordings. And so that is kind of our default setting.
Yeah.
But I've been surprised with how much audio you guys have got here. Shocked.
I am too.
Because I've done numerous investigations here and I've run my recorder and I don't catch near what y'all.
I remember when we first started showing you some of the stuff we would catch during the day here when we were recording our podcast. It was almost embarrassing to keep showing it because we usually don't get that much audio.
Well, and also we talked about this on the last podcast. This place is different from any other place we've ever been used to, or in any other place that we've gone. If we leave the room, if we set the recorders up and they're rolling, we're not there. That's when the good audio always comes in, or a majority of the time. Here, it's the exact opposite of that, and it's always around where we are.
And the other thing we always do here that never works is whenever we're doing a podcast, you're like, shh, you hear that? And listen, and then we be quiet for like 3 minutes, and it never happens again, ever.
And I know you guys don't want me to bring this up, but your first podcast started over again for me the other day here at the castle. And I did listen to it.
It's terrible.
And there are whispers and noises behind y'all that I don't think you probably even realized
I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't listen past about 6 minutes of it. Because it made my stomach hurt.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not trying to drudge that up again. But
we had technical issues.
But there are things behind you guys, if you can make it through. If you guys hear a dog barking, that's Marvin. Yeah. But there is stuff behind you guys.
So
even back then, I was kind of like...
it would have been extreme. It would have been really interesting to hear what would have happened on our first podcast. Unfortunately, we fucked it up real bad.
But you can,
real bad.
You can hear it because, John said he turned all the gains up, so you can hear all the sounds behind you guys.
Yeah, you probably hear cars and everything else behind us, because by the time I got done cranking that audio,
if you listen real close, you can actually hear the International Space Station orbit overhead.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff behind you guys.
I hate that one keeps popping back up.
Maybe it's just for me. I don't know.
No, it does it for everybody.
Oh, okay.
I've had that happen as well.
So if that happens to you, you should know, and we've talked about this before. If it goes back and plays our first podcast ever here, we're in a new setting as far as setting up the equipment, and we missed several wires. So that's why you can't...
Actually, not several. We missed one, but it was a real important wire. Real important.
So that's why you can't really hear us. And that's really the number one criteria of a podcast is being able to hear it.
No.
And you can't hear us. Well, and we interviewed Tamara that day, too.
I know. And I said, can we do it again? He's like, No, we can't.
I'm not going to tell
We can't tell this woman that we just went in there that we're so stupid to know how to use our own stuff.
I mean, can you imagine our first podcast?
Well,
we didn't hook it
yeah,
up.
no, I can imagine because I was getting microphone tutorials from our podcasting platform.
Yeah.
They were sending me.
Hold the mic firmly in your dominant hand.
It will sound better if you use a microphone.
I mean, it literally sounded like someone started an iPhone, voice memo, and then pitched that phone over in the corner. And then there was a like a conversation happening in the room next to that.
Yes, yes, it's so bad. So what you're hearing now actually is 100 times better than the one I sent Chris that said, "This is terrible. This is terrible."
So anyway, we only bring that up to say, if it does that to you, where it like cycles back to our first podcast, we know it sounded like shit. We messed up.
But there's a lot of stuff behind you guys.
Yeah, and
that's the only reason I brought that up, because I did catch it the other day, and I was
anytime
like,
you bring it
holy
up,
moly.
we're gonna go back through the
Well,
excuses.
okay, well that's fine. I didn't mean for all that drama again,
But don't you think it's weird, though, that we get as much interaction anywhere we go in here? Don't you think that's weird? Do other people, when they're on ghost tours or investigations here,
is going to be different.
tours are real hard.
Yeah.
Because you have to rule out everybody else.
do other investigators that have been here, that I'm sure surely you've had guides that have done this that are here?
Like the overnight guys, when they were here, did they get a lot of audio? I don't even know.
They had some. I actually went back and watched that episode last night, and they caught some sounds down in the basement, down by the dungeon area, and then in the tunnel, they heard a couple of loud bangs in the tunnel. And that group that came that did the private that I told you guys had all the gadgets and gizmos. I don't know if you remember them.
Yep.
They sent a video in the tunnel, and they heard Mr. Boots walking back and forth when they were totally still. So, I mean, if people are smart enough to run audio here, they're going to catch it, but I don't feel like a lot of groups do that.
And I bet a lot of people make the mistake of doing what we did. They're listening to the audio where they planted their recorders instead of listening to the audio where they're interacting with each other.
Right.
Because that seems to be where we get a lot of
It
it.
seems to be, and that's a common thread I've noticed everywhere. Like a lot of places are like that we've been to.
Whenever we're interacting
It'll
with
be an
each other.
EVP behind us having a conversation.
Yeah, that does happen quite a bit. It happens a lot here.
I don't know if that means anything, because we've also caught plenty of EVPs in a completely empty room with one recorder laying out. You know?
It's very rare, though, that it is. Usually it's almost always in response to something we've done here. I don't know that we've got a ton of just out of the blue audio here, have we?
I don't know, but I don't.
I mean, when Tamara's gone,
But even
week,
when Tamara was well, okay, that
I mean, I know that's kind of like a one-off week, but I mean,
I guess, but even on those, you ended up with that weird audio that we had that we played last week. That was almost to me that was still interacting with what I had just said.
well, yeah, you're right.
I mean, to me, you see that you don't see as much just random things that you'll see places.
Yeah, we don't run into a lot of residual type stuff, here. And the residual stuff tends to happen randomly. The stuff that we catch here does tend to be the more intelligent, in trying to respond or participate in what we're talking about.
Right.
So,
and the other thing that's really weird, like right now, Tamara's doing, I guess, some remodeling in the area where we normally podcast from.
Is that what she's doing?
Yeah, she ripped up the carpet, so the original floor is exposed now. So that means maybe some more fun here at the building or activity.
It seems like that we get more activity when we're in our normal spot over there than we do here.
Yeah.
Did we not have anything in here the last time we podcast?
We had some things, but it seems like that.
Are you talking about last week or closer to Halloween?
Closer to Halloween.
Not
when
really.
We were in here.
I mean, we had some. I mean, the thing about it is there's so much activity here at the castle. If one or two things happen, I don't even count those. I'm talking about like things coming downstairs. I mean, all kinds of things normally happen when we're in that regular podcast room. And I don't know. I know this sounds crazy to say this, and I know this sounds crazy. It's almost like that they're expecting us to come in. And so that's where these guys are at, so that's where we're going to go.
They're probably going to be mad because we're not in there today.
Well, they could be.
Probably going to be like, where the hell are they?
A lot of times whenever we play EVPs that we've captured elsewhere, it does tend to make things happen here. I don't know if that's an actual, causation, if that's just coincidence. But it seems like whenever we've played, EVPs from other places, it seems like that's when we hear things here.
We had that in Buffalo. The Buffalo ones we even played. When we played the Buffalo stuff here, it happened.
Yeah, so I kind of our topic was, that we catch a lot of EVP, evidence, because we don't, like we said earlier, we don't count orbs ever.
And we have got some photo stuff. Andrew caught an amazing shadow figure in Buffalo.
We've caught some photographic.
Nobody heard the whistle?
I did hear something.
I didn't hear it.
Okay.
There was something. I didn't know what it was.
Okay. Sound like whistle.
Yeah, we have caught a few photos along the way, but I mean, all in all, if you were to compare, it's definitely going to be, the audio is definitely going to be, our wheelhouse of typical, evidence collection. I was just going to randomly pick a couple of these, EVPs that we've caught over the years. Some of these we've probably played on here. Some of these I have no idea if we have ever before or not. And this first one I I definitely randomly chose it. Was from the house that me and Tyler did by ourselves that we've talked about many times.
Macaroni?
No.
Hamstring?
The one with the ham. And
so gross.
And we did catch 2 EVPs while we were there. I didn't pick this one for any reason because I didn't even know what I was picking. I just pulled it up and I was just looking through to see what audio we caught. And I am going to play one of these just as number one, as an example of the fact that we do catch a lot of audio. Number two, just to see if it causes anything to happen inside here in Pythian Castle as we play it. So let's see what we got here.
Why are you here?
So you probably heard the singing in the background there. Did you hear it?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yes. And the lady had said one of the claims in her home, and me and Tyler at this point were just like, there's nothing going to happen here, but we'll do this. Because she wouldn't leave. She stayed the whole time, and when we set this up, she said, yeah, I'll go somewhere for a few hours and come back. She didn't do that. She didn't follow through on that. She stayed. So we felt like we had to go ahead and see this through. So we did do an EVP session, and she said one of the things she hears is singing in the attic, and she was correct. The attic is completely boarded closed. You can't get into it because the entry point to the attic was in the garage. The garage with all the sevens on it. And we went out to the garage to look at the sevens, which I never saw. And I did look at the access point to the attic, and there were 2x4s boarded over. You can't get into it. This sound definitely came out of the attic, though. And so
did you hear it at the time?
Yeah, we heard it. And let me go ahead and play the whole thing here. I think we responded to it even on the recording.
Why are you here?
We heard it from the attic directly above us. So we did catch, this is an example of a person who sees a ghost in everything, and we actually did, catch legitimate, evidence while we were there.
I think that there are people that have situations where that they begin to see ghosts and everything. Yeah. But I think that it probably started off as something that was legit. If you're living in a house that has paranormal activity, that's got to have a psychological impact on you.
Sure, yeah. If you have to live in the house where this kind of stuff's happening, I would probably even do it myself. You're going to think every noise you hear, everything you see is going to...
See, that's one of the things I've always found fascinating is that how calm Tamara is with it. I mean, Tamara lives here, but it doesn't bother her.
Well, she's very busy. She keeps herself busy.
Well, I guess it's true. I guess
and
she's always repairing her castle.
If that's just, I think that's just how she is, but maybe that helps her cope with the weird stuff that goes on.
I don't know, but she's always been very, very calm about it, but very matter of fact that yes, there are the ghosts are there, but not in a freaked out way at all.
Every once in a while something will happen and she'll get nervous.
Melissa, what do you think is your favorite audio piece you've ever heard us play that you can remember?
What was that?
I heard that.
What was
that?
Did
you hear that?
Yeah, that shh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was looking around.
I breathe.
No, I was looking around.
It sounded like letting air out of a tire.
Yeah. I was looking around to see if anybody was doing it, and
maybe I was getting shushed for all my sneezes.
Could be.
Maybe they were like, shh, stop.
You're ruining the podcast.
So your question was, what's her favorite what now?
Audio that we've ever had.
Did you just hear that? That little...
Yeah.
I thought that was you laughing.
No.
Is there one that you can really remember that you thought was the
Are you talking
the
about
best?
from Inside Pythian?
Pythian or any of them that you've heard us play on this before?
Well, Mr. Boots in the tunnel has said my name on numerous occasions. So that's one. It scares the shit out of me every time I hear it.
Do you have any recordings of him saying it?
I used to have one on my phone, and I'll have to dig through and find it. It's in an email. This is something I don't think you guys have heard. Maybe I played it for you. There was one night during an investigation that it was a public overnight, and Tony Pickman was here. And if people don't know who Tony Pickman is, he used to live in the Sally House in Atchison, Kansas, where all the crazy stuff happened. Him and his wife used to
Oh,
live
we
there.
did have someone email us about the Sally House, by the way.
Yeah.
Did I share that with everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, you did.
I won't set foot in the Sally
I
House.
thought that Ty
So
had said he was going.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm
you,
not going.
you all are more than happy to go. I'm not going.
I thought Ty was going to do that.
No, he actually responded and said he wouldn't, didn't
Yeah, yeah. He responded and said he wouldn't
Why?
because he doesn't want to get hurt.
he? Because, it's really not a good place to go.
It's, a lot of people go there and nothing happens to them, and that's fine. But some people who do go there get hurt, get scratched, get pushed downstairs, and
I can't be pushed down no stairs. Don't know if I'm getting back up easily from that one.
And it's been a while since I've spoke to Tony, but he very blatantly said, please do not go in that house.
Right.
Please don't go in there. And if he's asking me not to go in it, I'm not going to go. Anyway, he was here with his son, and it was during an investigation, and we heard what sounded like gunshots. We heard 4 of them. One was on the front porch. One was downstairs, and we were standing by the POW cells, and it happened like in the middle of us where we were talking. There's this really loud sound like gunshot. And then it happened over by the dungeon, and then the last one happened upstairs in the theater. And we have a recording of that one, but they sound like gunshots.
Are you sure they're not gunshots?
I mean, maybe they are, but they were in the building.
Oh, so they were in the building.
They were in the
Okay.
building. That's the only time we've heard them.
So what would that be?
We kind of want to maybe think that was the gentleman who committed suicide.
Okay, that's
shot
what
himself.
I was thinking. I was trying to think if there were any. I read through the I hate to call it the death book, but the book over there.
There are 2 suicides here.
I knew there were suicides here. I thought one was by way of blade.
Yeah.
And that I couldn't remember what the other one was, if it was gunshots or.
Yeah, he shot himself with a rifle.
I did find another EVP I wanted to play, and I don't know if we've ever played this one before on here. I don't know if Melissa's ever heard it. This is from a house we did in Bolivar, not that one. We were all there at this one, and we caught a lot of EVPs
this a duplex?
at this house. No, this was a house, and remember she had the cedar chest. When she brought the cedar chest in is when all the activity started happening. You may not remember. You'll remember some of these. I'm
I remember when I hear it.
I'm going to play a couple of these because this is another Tyler one, because I remember he was standing on a chair in the hallway because we smelled that rotten meat smell.
Oh, yeah.
And Tyler was like, I think it's coming from up here. He was like at the intake vent, in the hallway, trying to see if it was coming from up there.
I thought that was in Nixa.
No, this was in Bolivar.
Okay.
And as he was up there, he saw a shadow figure move by, and we caught an EVP at that moment. So I haven't heard this in forever, but I'm going to go ahead and pull this one up and play it now.
I got it. Face was pointed that way. Yeah, but it's
I
gone.
walked right here. I didn't even get on the chair. I smelled like something that smelled like rotten, like a dying animal. Jesus.
What? Dude, what is it?
Okay, chaos. I didn't hear the EVP there.
Because we hear it. We hear it at the time.
I guess we included that because it was just like our reaction to having heard
What
or
was
seen
it?
something.
Did you
I
hear
think
it?
the
It
reason
sounded
why
like
they-
a small child, like a small baby or child making a noise.
You'll have to play it again.
You want me to play it again? Man, the audio on that is so loud.
I didn't catch it.
Let me go ahead and
you didn't
play
hear
it.
I didn't hear it. I just
didn't
heard
hear-
all you guys freaking out.
I didn't hear it either. I didn't hear the EVP part. No, all I
Just now, you didn't. Okay,
I didn't
I'm
hear
gonna
it
play
either.
it. Play it. I
Okay.
heard
You
it
didn't
very
hear it
clearly.
either?
No, I didn't hear it.
Oh
I
my
just heard,
God.
I heard
Could you
reactions.
Point to me when you hear
Okay,
it.
here,
Maybe
listen.
it's. I mean, the gain is so high. Maybe it's being drowned out.
It's very
for me.
old.
Let me do it again.
I got it. Face was pointed that way. Yeah, but it's
I
gone.
walked right here. I didn't even get on the chair. I smelled like something that smelled like rotten, like a dying animal. Jesus.
What? Dude, what is it?
Okay, I did hear it that time. It's just the audio is so loud. It's on one of those old recorders. I didn't hear it the first
You
time.
did hear it though.
I did.
It's
hear
like
it
a
that
whisper
time.
noise and
Yeah.
then like a baby noise.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that.
I got another one from that same house. I'm going to play here, Dustin. I'll see if you remember. You and I were sitting on a bed in a bedroom, and the response came right in between us. It came in my left ear and your right ear, and it scared the shit out of us. Let me go ahead and play this one here.
Are you in here? I heard that. What did it sound like to you?
Whoa.
I remember
So-
that. I remember
freaked me
this.
out, man. That freaked me out. I remember that one very clearly.
Because it sounds like something said yes.
Yeah.
Right between.
It
right
sounded like
between
something very
Anybody
strange.
see, and that's why I didn't do an EVP session when Melissa and I were here, because I was afraid it was going to say yes.
It's one of those things where you try to picture what made that sound, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. So that was at a house we did in Bolivar, and I want to. I'm not going to play this. I did want to pull up the audio piece and see how many.
Remember
years ago.
the one that I sent you? I said, what does this sound like? It was something we caught on the podcast, and you sent me back the giant lizard looking thing. You said, well, it's got to look like this.
Are you asking which investigation that was?
No, that was here. It was here, and I said, what is this? It was some unknown audio.
Oh yeah, I sent you like a Star Wars monster or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
I thought it was Rodan.
I do always try to picture, what the thing, might look like that captured or that made whatever sound that we captured.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, sometimes that thought experiment has messed me up for a little while.
Yeah, I know. These are from the cemetery that we did. Did I already play all these? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think it's been a while.
It's been a while, but it's the one where it like shot out like a date or something.
Okay, well let's just try that one and see. I can't even remember what's on here, but we'll play it.
It's making me uncomfortable. Anybody in here? What year did you die?
And that's just a whisper we caught.
Yeah, there's some of John's whispering. Do it, John. What it sound like? Yeah, just like that.
So what would be Dustin, what's your favorite audio we've ever caught?
Oh, man.
See, I couldn't answer that question because there's been so many awesome pieces of audio.
The ones that come to mind, that one there that we just played is one that I've thought about a lot over the years because that was one of the first ones I heard with my own ears that was corroborated with it, like recording audio. But the little girl in the closet.
Yeah, the laughing.
The one that was saying,
help
me, or something very creepy. Messed me up for a little bit. Because I also heard that one with my ears. And it's very clearly a little girl in there.
See, to me.
We have that audio somewhere, Chris, of the little girl, like.
In Mount Vernon?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got, we do have that.
You've played it.
Yeah, we've played it before. That's just a really good piece of audio. I think.
I've got, I kind of got sidetracked here. I was looking through our second trip to Ashley's house.
That's just a big smorgasbord of
I was
stuff
I was
going
to ask, do you have the bed squeaking audio?
Probably.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Y'all never told me about that. I'm just going to say.
Oh, yeah. No,
you never mentioned that.
Yeah. Well, that's
until
part of the sex ghost.
I know, but you never told me about it.
I was looking through here. Okay.
Well, I didn't know.
You never said anything about that.
One of my favorite audio responses there's several of them I love I love the ones that we've caught on the podcast we believe to be Mr. Boots with the young guy sounding that has shown up on the podcast. It's also when we were talking about the theater upstairs and talking about Charlie Chaplin, and a guy jumps in and says, I knew him.
That's my favorite one. Yeah, that was caught here.
I keep forgetting about that one.
That's one of my favorites because that's like
that's an intelligent
man speaking into one of these microphones who was not there.
Right.
Speaking very intelligently.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have that one, that'd be a great one to play.
Oh, fuck, I don't have that. Okay. I mean, I've got all the. I could probably find that one. I mean, I've got all these on in a folder.
That one's like one of our best. We got to have it on there somewhere at some point.
Finding it is the pain. I was kind of. I want to play this because I can't remember what the hell this is, but I do want to play this one. Let's see what we got on this.
I think I heard the others coming in. Okay, that's them coming in. They're coming in right now. Listen, John, right here. Did you hear it? Got it. Something's going on. Okay. This is interesting because it seems like we're having to move from one room to the next.
Okay, that was at Ashley's house, and that's when. Lord, there's so much stuff that happens there. I can't even. Something happened in a bedroom, and we heard. This was right before we got the sex ghost on recording.
I think we were in the bedroom
next to it.
Yeah, by the bathroom. And then the sex ghost one appeared in the bedroom closest to the stairs.
Yeah, and here's another one that I can't remember. I do want to play just because I can't remember what's on here.
Set a recorder down in it. Put a recorder in it.
There.
And let's give it.
Okay, yeah. Did you hear the whisper there?
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
So those are all from Ashley's house, which we need to go to. And we need to quit talking about places we need to go to because we got so many. Now, I will say this. That house in Fair Grove we can go to anytime. I know you're going to be gone for a little while.
Yeah.
But she said anytime we want to go, just give her a couple days notice and we can go to it because there's still activity happening there. That was the one we're going to do in October. And then, COVID was, I was exposed to a lot of people with COVID.
Well, she had it too.
And she had it. Yeah. She was sick for a couple of weeks. So
Yeah, we got to give plenty of time for that to die.
If you guys want to go while I'm gone, go right on ahead.
Well, no. I mean, we just need to get it scheduled to do, and we want to come back here because I know Hunter is wanting to come, Dustin, because I talked to him yesterday.
Yeah, but now it's going to be cold.
I know, but what can you do? Hell, I mean, otherwise we'd have to wait till May.
Yeah, you'll have to be cold in the tunnel.
It's fine.
Bring some hand warmers.
It was cold last time.
All ghosts go to Florida in the winter anyway.
That's where I'm going. With 50,000 other people.
Yeah. Where are you going?
Disney World.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say I'll be enjoying nice 75-degree weather and about 50,000 people.
So anyway, yeah, you're going to be gone, and December is always hard anyway because of schedules and whatever. But we need to go to those places. I don't really have anything. I mean, I could keep sitting here plugging audio. Did you hear something?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
I don't know.
Was that them moving or something?
No, it was
that? I don't know.
That's what it was.
It was something. He's so good at that.
It was something like that.
It was something. I don't know.
What's really cool is whenever I play it back and I'm so spot on that I think people are saying, well, that's just him saying it's what
John
it
is the Michael Winslow of EVP.
Yeah, stop being so good at
that's
it.
what it is. It's that boy sitting in there, and he just hammered out them ghost sounds. There ain't no ghost in there. That's that boy.
We wouldn't all waste our time to come up here just for John to make sounds in the background. Anyway, like I said, I could keep going through here and pulling up archived EVPs all day long. You can listen to them yourself, mwghosthunters.com, and then we have a link to all of them that you can listen to. And we could keep doing that, or we can wind down this episode and come back next week, whatever you guys want to do. Did you hear that?
I did.
What was it?
Yeah.
There's somebody talking like over
Yeah.
there.
It sounded like a muffled conversation.
It was.
I wonder if is.
Could have been Tamara.
I'll look.
Yeah, go check and see.
She's
Does
going
it
to
sound
check
like
this.
when you hear a conversation behind?
There was definitely somebody talking over there. 100%.
I think it's whenever,
wasn't-
and it's when I think it was responding to yours. Well, we could continue this, or we could.
And it wasn't the dog. We heard the dog.
No.
We need to figure out what it said.
It was.
Melissa went to see if there's.
And no
one's in there, in that area at all?
That's the area it sounded like.
Well, there's somebody talking.
Yeah, there was a muffled conversation happening there. It didn't sound like a female even.
I don't know what it was, but it was like a voice talking.
Well, we'll have to listen back to that.
Maybe it's saying, "Play more."
Don't
You
go.
started playing stuff, and now there you go. There you go. They're like, "No, don't leave."
I definitely heard something there, and that was really the first thing I've heard today since we've been here. I don't know. And it was not the dog. I heard the dog. That it was something separate from that.
Not unless the dog started talking, and then we got bigger problems.
If Marvin's hammering out conversations, it's time to vacate the castle at that moment in time.
Yeah. What was that?
Did you hear that?
I heard that.
What was that?
I don't know, but it's not going to do anything if you're quiet.
I know.
that's true.
It's not.
The natural tendency is to try to listen and see if it happens again, but it never does.
No.
But I haven't heard the dog, so I wonder if she's outside.
I did hear the dog, though, a minute ago.
Oh, see, I did not.
Couldn't tell you.
Anyway, like we were saying, we can wind down this episode now that we're starting to hear things inside. If you would like to take a tour at Pythian Castle, you can do that on their website. You can book that at pythiancastle.com. I don't know why I always want to say .org, but it's pythiancastle.com. And our website is mwghosthunters.com. If you want to listen to our EVPs or videos or whatever, you can.
If you got a problem with paranormal activity, need some help?
Yeah, you can email us, contact at mwghosthunters.com. If you want to make any kind of comment related to this podcast, we get that's the address to use.
And by the way, it would really help if whatever platform you're listening to us on, comment, like, share, do things like that. It helps us out dramatically with the podcast. Just hit like, comment on it, whatever platform you're listening on.
So, and when you say that, they don't have to comment. They don't have to write a book. They just have to say,
right,
enjoyed the episode or whatever.
Really great.
Or didn't.
Right.
Or didn't.
You know, hey, you guys are stupid or whatever. I mean, that's preferably not that. But, if anything you're going to comment on, if you would comment, just make it helps to move us up the podcast realm. We really would appreciate it.
All right, yeah, and if you got any questions, comments, or you need any, because we do get emails from people, from all over. We're in Missouri, but we get emails from people in other states too, wanting help finding someone for their problem, we can help you find someone, closer to you that can help you with that too at contact@mwghosthunters.com.
And we'll be back again with another episode of Midwest Ghost Hunters Dark Matter Podcast.